Hi, I'm Bennie Naude. Here is another short EFT tapping video to help you release any fear, anxiety, panic, angst that you might feel about COVID, whatever your belief systems about it are. So the idea is that when you calm down the nervous system, it gives the immune system a better chance to do its job. If you want to know more about EFT tapping, you can look up the work of Doctors David Feinstein or Dawson Church or Peter Stapleton in Australia. Technique is very simple. You're going to tap on certain points of the body. You're going to think about your fears, even if part of you might not want to do that. So this is not a positive thinking exercise. I'm not going to try and tell you not to feel the way you do. You're actually going to allow yourself to feel the way you do, and then by tapping these points, you'll be able to release some, if not all of those emotions. If high levels of emotion come up during the tapping, keep tapping, and also feel free to send this to anybody else that might find it useful, or watch the other videos in the series. So very simple, we're going to start on the side of the hand. And we're going to do some general rounds around fear, anxiety, panic, angst. I'm going to use the word fear. If your word is different, then substitute what I say with a word that resonates with you more. Okay, deep breath in and out. Even though I have this fear about COVID, I accept myself and how I feel. I have this COVID fear, and there's a lot of reasons to have it. Even though I have this fear about COVID, I accept myself and how I feel. We're going to start the tapping point starting at the top of the head. I'm going to give you a sentence stem and you're going to complete the sentence. Preferably say the words out loud if that's at all possible. My biggest COVID fear is, and complete the sentence as specifically as you can. Top of the eyebrows. My biggest fear about COVID is. What scares me about COVID is. What's really scary about COVID is. I have this COVID fear because. All this COVID fear about. I'm also scared of all this justified fear that I feel about COVID. Hand on the heart, deep breath in, slow breath out. Let's do another general round, straight to the top of the head. All my COVID fears. What scares me the most is. What's really frightening about COVID is. All these justified fears about COVID. All these fears about COVID. What I fear the most is what I also fear is and under the arms what scares me the most about COVID is okay, deep breath in, hand on the heart, slow breath out. Now we're going to start some more specific rounds about EFT tapping, Some of these phrases might not resonate, just tap on them anyway. On the side of the hand. Even though I have this fear that I might get COVID, and that I might die of it, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though I have all these fears about COVID, fear of not being able to say goodbye to loved ones, fear that it's completely changing the world, and fear that it might never end. I accept myself and how I feel. Top of the head. All my fear about dying, my fear of getting COVID, my fear of losing money, not being able to take care of myself and my family, my fear of how this is affecting children, my fear about having to make the right decision, my fear of infecting others, all these justified fears about COVID. I accept myself and how I feel. There is a lot to fear. Hand on the heart, deep breath in, slow breath out. In the next round, we're going to do some what-if tapping. A lot of our fears are based on the possibility that things might happen. And again, I'm not here to tell you that these fears are valid or invalid. Simply here to do some tapping so you can release some of these fearful emotions. Side of the hand, even though I still have this fear about COVID, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though I have this COVID fear, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though I have these COVID fears, I accept myself and how I feel. So on the point, start thinking about what your worst case what ifs are. For example, what if the world never returns to normal? What if the vaccines are not as good as they say? What if, and complete the sentence, under the eyes, what if, complete the sentence, under the nose, what if, on the chin point, what if, collarbone point, what if, and under the arms, what if. Okay, deep breath in, hand on the heart. Slow breathe, slow breath out. Okay, let's go for another round, side of the hand. Even though I still have these COVID fears, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though I still have these justified COVID fears, because these things might happen, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though I still have these COVID fears, I accept myself and how I feel. This fear that things would never return to normal. This fear that the world will never be healthy again. This fear that the virus would just get worse. This fear about how this is affecting children. This fear of being ridiculed for my views. This fear of making a wrong decision. All these remaining fears about COVID. And under the arm, all these remaining fears about COVID. And on the heart, deep breath in, slow breath out. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Check inside and notice any other fears that might start to come up to the surface. Also notice you might experience a slight loosening of the fear. It might not be as constricted, might have a sense of a bit more spaciousness. And then let's go into another round. Okay, tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I still have fears about COVID, I accept myself and how I feel. Top of the head, this fear that the government might never rescind the powers they've taken away from us. This fear it might never end. This fear of dying alone. This fear of losing my ability to take care of myself or my family. All these remaining COVID fears. All these remaining COVID fears. All these justified COVID fears. And under the arm, all these remaining COVID fears. And on the heart, deep breath in, slow breath out. Again, check what the fear is, how it might have changed. If it hasn't subsided substantially, rewind the video and do it again. And also check out the other videos in the series.